Virginia taking center stage in Petersburg. The ladies of Virginia Union and Virginia State kicking off today's doubleheader. Welcome to the HBCU Go Sports crossover show on the MLK holiday weekend. I'm Nicole Hutchison. He's Tolly Carr in our Atlanta studio, bringing you stories in sports, entertainment, and culture from around our HBCUs. Now, Tolly, we just had a good game right there. What'd you think about that first game?
Well, look, whenever you get Virginia State and Virginia Union together on the court, it's going to be a rivalry. They're going to play a couple of times, and you never know if these teams are going to have an opportunity to meet in the CIAA tournament. So a lot of bragging rights on the line, a lot of jockeying for position. We're getting closer and closer to crunch time. It's getting late in January, and the CIAA tournament just a little bit over a month away. So always good to see these rivalries setting up storylines for just a couple of weeks left in the crux of the season.
We're going to dive more into some more rivalries later in the show. But for now, as we honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King this weekend, we thought it was so appropriate to focus on community service. One of our own here at HBCU Go recently opened a community center in his hometown. Former NFL Pro Bowler and Black College Football Hall of Famer Antoine Bethea reached a major goal this December by opening the Safehaven Empowerment Center. We talked to Antoine about the new center and its community impact.
The whole concept of the Safehaven Empowerment Center came about with the philanthropy and the community work that I was doing during my tenure playing in the NFL. Looking back on some of the one-day events that I was doing, whether it's a back-to-school event, whether it's something during Thanksgiving or Christmas, even though it was impactful, I wanted something to be long-lasting. And at the time, the city manager of Newport News, she was aware of the work that I was doing in the city and asked what was my end goal for the Bethea Family Foundation. And for me, it was if I could get a building where we could run programming out of this building where the community could come in and get everyday access to some things that they may be lacking as far as resources, encouragement, or whatever the case may be, that will be it.
We've been opened officially for a little over a month now, and we've had some after-school programs that we've kicked off. We have a culinary program that has been initiated to kind of expose our young people to experiences and opportunities that they typically wouldn't traditionally have, whether it's in school or at home. And we're just looking to continue to enhance on those type of activities to be able to expose our young people and provide resources for our citizens here in the community and surrounding areas so that they can come to this location and we be that one-stop shop for those in need of whether it's mental health resources, whether it's becoming physically fit with some of the recreational programming, or even be able to provide food distribution for families that may be in need.
As I walk through the building, I light up all the time. Marcellus is sitting right there in the common area, and that's a beautiful space where, the kids can go in there and do arts and crafts. People come in there and have meetings and things of that nature. We have 2 gyms. Shout out to Virginia Peninsula Community College. They use the gym as their home basketball gym. We have a pool that will be opening up in the second phase, so I know that's going to be a part of the center that's going to be used by the community. We have a mental health corridor as well, where our counselors can serve our community as well. So again, when you talk about the ideal space or spot in the center, man, I really can't put my finger on one. This is a truly community-driven center. Whether you're in Newport News or surrounding areas, or whether you're not even in the state of Virginia, if you're really looking into or looking forward to really give it back to an impactful cause, man, we would love for any type of resources, any type of, monetary donations, that people will be willing to give. Because again, this isn't going to myself, this isn't going to Marcellus, this is going directly to help our community, the citizens in our community, and the youth in our community.
Wow, a lot happening there. Mental health, basketball, swimming, esports. There's something for everybody there.
Hey, that's what it's all about, specifically for former players using their platforms and doing something with it. You got to love Antoine Bethea for that. But the Howard alum and his Bethea Family Foundation is committed to serving the community with several other charitable initiatives. Community is everything as we honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King this weekend. We'll be back with more of the HBCU Go crossover show after this.
Always a rivalry, man. You know, when I first got to Virginia State, I didn't understand how big that game was, man, until you lose one of them. But we've been really going at it over the years. There was a run where we were kind of getting them every year pretty much, and now they've gotten us the last few years. So that rivalry will never die, man. All you say is Virginia Union, Virginia State, and you got a crowd.
Well, you're always Virginia State. That's a rival game, and 30 minutes apart, the battle of 95. So we always schedule, circle Virginia State on our schedule. But we all know every game in the CIAA is tough.
You got to love the passion there from both men's coaches from Virginia Union and Virginia State. Welcome back to the HBCU Go Sports Crossover Show. Nicole Hutchison and Tali Carr. In today's games with Virginia Union and Virginia State, they're not the only in-state rivalries happening today, though. Tali, it's somewhat of a mini rivalry weekend. So what better way to take a look at those rivalries by checking the pulse? Take it away. See what I did there?
I thought you were stumbling, but I caught on there. Mini rivalry. I think that's a good way to put it there. We go over to the SWAC. Two notable matchups today: Alabama State versus Alabama A&M. That game in Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama A&M coming off a 3 overtime loss to Jackson State on Monday. 3 overtimes. A.C. Bryant, he had 39 points in that loss. Alabama State is coming off back-to-back SWAC losses in the last week, losing 2 road games to Jackson State and Alcorn State. C.J. Hines from right here in Atlanta led the Hornets with 13 points in the last matchup. All right, so not quite the Magic City classic on tap for today, but Alabama State and Alabama A&M always delivers when it comes to rivalries. The two teams split the series last year with 1 win apiece. And we're not to be outdone. We have Grambling and Southern. They're also going to get together in Baton Rouge. That's the only way you can say it this afternoon. Grambling, the defending tournament champions, but off to a slow 1-3 start in conference, but their last game was a win. They beat FAMU on Monday night 79-72. Southern University rolling. They're the only team in the SWAC right now above 500 overall, and along with Jackson State, one of only 2 teams unbeaten in conference play. So no breakout star on this team. Very balanced scoring. 3 players averaging right at 10 points per game. A very defensive-minded team averaging over 10 steals per game, and that's turning into 18.8 points per game off of turnovers. So you can win with defense. Grambling off to a slow start. We'll have to see if Southern can continue to roll. If Grambling will get it together today.
Yeah, Kevin Johnson's been keeping that defensive mindset with his team. Specifically, even last year, they were ranked nationally in forced turnovers and steals in the top 20. So you got to love that with Kevin Johnson. All right, rivalries are always fun and intense. Some can make or break a coach's job, especially those in-state rivalries. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's happening around the HBCU socials. But first, we continue to honor Dr. King on this MLK weekend. Welcome back to the HBCU Go Sports Crossover Show, live from our studios in Atlanta. Nicole Hutchison and Tali Carr once again. And as we do every week, let's take a spin around our HBCU world online of social media with this week's HBCU Social Call. All right, this week was a historic one for the men's squad and defending SWAC champions Grambling State. Men's head coach Dante Jackson recorded his 124th career win. That's the most for any at that school during the Division I era. And as we pointed out earlier in the crossover, Grambling State takes on their Louisiana State rival Southern University in just a few minutes. We'll see if Coach Jackson adds to that historic number of wins.
Hey, congratulations to DJ.
Absolutely.
And let's stick with some hoops here. We always love a big upset.
Ooh.
Nicole.
Hey.
When a Division II school
Not
from
too
the
much.
CIAA wins over a Division I school in the MEAC. Well, it's even more of a big deal. Now, Bowie State, they beat who?
I don't know.
Howard. Where'd you go to school? Howard.
Don't do that.
They took the short trip from Prince George's County to Northwest D.C. just to upset the Howard University basketball team 76-73. The Bison, not the first Division I victim to suffer from the Bulldogs' bite. Hampton also suffered the same fate at the season start. So look out, Bowie State on a roll.
Listen, not too much. All right. Howard took a hit with the transfer portal last year, so they're a little young. They're still 3-0 in the conference. Love to see it. All right. But I'm okay. Switching over to football, though, we've got some great news there. We've all known, now heard, and talked about the former NFL players that have become head coaches at HBCUs recently. Well, now, as we expected, the recruiting game is absolutely on. There's more news from Del State's new head coach, Deshaun Jackson. He continues to make waves at Delaware State after landing yet another major recruit. This time, it's 3-star wide receiver Jaden Robinson, who, according to Rivals.com, is the highest-rated recruit in Hornets football history. What an amazing grab for them.
Hang in there, Shady McCoy.
Hang in there. That'll do it for this round of HBCU Go's Social Call. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook for these posts and other stories around our HBCUs at hbcugo.com.tv. We'll be back with more HBCU Go Sports crossover. But first, as we continue to honor Dr. King this MLK weekend, here's another powerful quote. We'll be right back. It's almost time to tip off the second game in our doubleheader. The men of Virginia Union take on Virginia State coming up in just a few minutes with our team. Charlie Neal, Todd Bozeman, and Laurencia Moten. We got some action there. It's going to be a good game right there. Got another one, hopefully, like the women's. But that'll do it for our HBCU Sports Go crossover show. I'm Nicole Hutchison, and for Tali Carr, we'll see you guys out there in Petersburg.